Thank you. Now, going over to the culture part of the podcast, you have the National MS Society firing a 90-year-old woman for not knowing pronouns. She had also volunteered for 60 years. And of course, there's some, not to be cliche, but it just happened to be a millennial young white gal who did the firing, apparently. Which, I don't know how heartless you have to be to fire grandma. And it's not, from the context I see, it doesn't appear to be she was even doing it on purpose. She just didn't understand. And again, I know some people, the pronouns thing has become a huge debate in the United States from a cultural perspective. People brag about using them in some social media circles, while others will not acquiesce to using their preferred pronouns. And some people, it's say just virtue signaling. And truth be told, it's a way to identify people of a certain mindset. So that's very true. Like many identifying things. Now, this was first brought to us thanks to the libs of TikTok on X Twitter. And she says, quote, "Unreal. National MS Society forced 90-year-old volunteer to step down because she wasn't, quote, inclusive enough after she asked what pronouns are." The gal's name is Fran, and Fran had volunteered for 60 years, and her late husband had MS. The MS Society still hasn't said a word about this. Don't give them another penny until they do it. Which, yes, I wouldn't either. If you fired grandma because she didn't understand this new concept that a lot of people are still debating around forced speech, which in some countries, if you don't use someone's preferred pronouns, you will be fined or jailed. It's not conspiracy theory. It's happened in other countries, and with the adoption rate of certain legal laws, I mean, there's a big trend of laws coming and being enforced in good old Canada, then being migrated to California, and then being forced around the rest of the United States. It's happened with many subjects, so it's not out of the realm, though we do have the First Amendment, which some Americans still believe in, thankfully. Now, this letter is from Callie Kumor, who is the manager of community engagement, she, her, in her signature, and this is the heartless, morally vacuous letter she sent to this grandma. She says, quote, "Dear Fran, I hope this email finds you well. We appreciate your dedication and contribution as self-help group leader with our organization. As we disclosed earlier during our phone conversation, although after a thorough review of our guidelines and standards, it has come to our attention that there has been a failure to abide by our diversity, equity, and inclusion guidelines during your time as volunteer. Unfortunately, based on the situation, we have made the difficult decision to have you step down from your volunteer position effective immediately. Although the Lakewood Beach Self-Help Group will no longer be formally affiliated with our organization, we want to emphasize that this does not mean the end of your group activities. You are still more than welcome to continue meeting independently from the society. While your role as a volunteer is going to end, we want to emphasize that you and the group are still welcome to attend and participate in the society's events and programs. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. We appreciate the time and effort dedicated to our organization, and we sincerely hope you understand the necessity of this decision. We wish you the best in your future endeavors and hope to see you at Walk MS. Thank you for understanding. Sincerely, Callie Kumar, Manager, Community Engagement, she, her, National Multiple Sclerosis Society, 5150 Goldie Circle, Suite 400, Los Angeles, California. Phone number 310-481-1132, internal plus 66132. Again, direct line is 310-481-1132. This is one of the most morally vacuous things that I've read about in quite some time, which, again, that's actually saying something considering modern society from a cultural perspective seem to be precipitously declining and decaying more and more. Perhaps this just shoots a little bit close to home since I've had friends and family who have been affected by MS throughout my lifetime, and we've done similar walks like this throughout our life. And MS is a terrible, heartbreaking thing to have someone go through, and we do need to raise funds for research and development. Subsequently, I wouldn't recommend giving funds to this particular organization because of how disgustingly heartless they are. Again, they fired grandma for not understanding a relatively extremely new cultural trend in the United States. She asked, what were they? Really? That is, I would never give this organization a penny. And apparently Miss Callie Kumor is already hiding because she had a LinkedIn page. So let me just fact check that really quick and let's look it up in real time. So that's Kelly. Let's see here. Callie. K-A-L-Y. K-A-L-Y. Then Kumar, K-U. Oh, if I could spell it, usually helps. K-U-M-O-R. Umor. So close to humor, but she has no humor, obviously. And it's a ridiculous name. Kumar. It's also ridiculous as having a name like Topping. Oh, wait. Nevertheless, it looks like she has indeed deleted her profile on LinkedIn because, interestingly enough, there's not. Yeah. Callie Kumar. K-U-M. Yeah, it looks like she does not show up. Interesting. Guess we shouldn't be too surprised. Now, granted, perhaps I'm alone in this assessment. Maybe everyone thinks, yeah, we should fire Grandma. She wasn't progressive enough. Maybe I don't think so, but let's dive in the comments and find out. And again, this went viral a couple days ago. It got 7 million views in the first 24 hours. That went viral to say the least. And also got 25,000 likes. Now, going to the top comments. Let's see here. Lives a TikTok says, quote, I spoke with Fran about the National MS Society forcing her to step down over pronouns usage. Watch her interview, which we'll probably have to check that out in a couple days. Let's see here. So going down to the first comment. Let's see here. Paul Zazupa says, quote, this is an assault on the right of free speech. You can't require someone to say words. It's even more ridiculous when the words are required by ridiculous. In summary, the left is ridiculous. Unquote. Getting 1,000 likes. Now, it looks like the actual MS Society, I'm curious, let me check it really quick, because technically if it's a private organization, let's see, National MS Society, they're a nonprofit, so they have nonprofit status. Let's see here. If they're connected to the government, then you could for sure sue them for your right to free speech, but if it's a private organization, I don't think that would stand. Now, obviously, they're still morally, mentally vacuous, and culturally speaking, I hope they're ostracized appropriately. Now, going down to other comments, you have Libercrat Media TM says, quote, shame on you, hashtag MS Society. And it's a GIF, sorry, as the youth might say, a GIF of someone saying, raise your hand if you're tired of this shit, getting 1.4 thousand likes. Craig Chamberlain says, quote, the cult isn't about inclusion. They're about excluding anyone who is a threat to their narcissistic power grabs, unquote. Getting 1.1 thousand likes. Let's see, Common Sense Prevails says, quote, how dare she? And then it's a picture of Norm Macdonald, one of the goats of comedy, and the text says, quote, DEI, or diversity, equity, inclusion, is just a polite way to say dumb, entitled idiot, unquote. Getting 713 likes. Let's see here. Right-wing's political news, right-angle political news network says, quote, the left has absolutely lost the plot in pushing away every single rational person from their movement. They have allowed woke nonsense to take full control over everything. People are fed up with it. Got it, and it goes on for a couple paragraphs. Got 471 likes. Terry Prentice says, quote, don't really see how this action helps the MS Society in reaching their goal of helping people with MS. DEI is just another expression of bigotry and racism. Unquote, getting 318 likes. Now, I wonder if they knew this was going to blow up in their face for people who are politically in the middle or on the right, but maybe this will increase funding by people who are very, very much in favor of firing Grandma and being in favor of the DEI and the pronouns. Because again, there are a lot, especially, there's a lot of tech billionaires who agree with that. So, obviously, I don't recommend giving them a penny more until they either fire the person who fired Grandma, hire her back on with a big apology. I don't think those things will happen, but I wonder if overall will their funding break even, go down, or go up? Now, they are also, as youth might say, getting ratioed in multiple ways. So, National MS Society, on Valentine's Day, they tried to tweet something. Didn't go well. So they say on National Valentine's Day last week, they said, quote, Happy Valentine's Day. Whether you're celebrating self-love, love of a partner, or love of family and friends, we hope the day is filled with joy. And the pictures... No way. So, the pictures are very, as youth might say, progressive. One is of a guy with... And again, I'm not trying to... I don't think it's dead naming if you're not... That's the name thing. One's what looks like to be a straight guy, and then is with a girl with a mohawk, and she's dressed similarly. We have another cliche picture of a girl with "I need help." It's not tattooed on her forehead. That's what I see when I actually see the nose ring in the middle. They have one of those with a gay couple, and then the other picture is. They do have one traditional picture in terms of a man and a woman together. And that got 135,000 views, only 70 likes, which is terrible to say the least. And the first comment comes from Morgan McColvin and says, "Not one more dime," unquote. And this person posted a screenshot of Libs of TikTok breaking the story. That got 2.1 thousand likes. Rob replied saying, quote, if you let the lady go, you're not inclusive. That got 2.6 thousand likes. Political sock, though the picture is in fact of a gentleman, not a sock, but nevertheless it's a alleged sock, says, quote, how about the love you showed you guys to an elderly woman who you fired because she didn't understand gender pseudoscience pronouns, unquote. That got 3.8 thousand likes. CJ's Thoughts says, I will never donate another dollar for what you did to that poor woman. Just disgusting, unquote. I got 2.5 thousand likes. Alaska Blues says, quote, I have ceased my annual donation. You know what you did, unquote, getting 1.4 thousand likes. Chief Newspeak Editor says, quote, just don't refer to someone with the wrong pronouns or we'll fire you even if you're unpaid because we're fascist, unquote, getting 1.6 thousand likes. Which again, with certain industries and certain nonprofits, it is hard to get volunteers. It's a full-time job of just finding people to volunteer and help with them. And this isn't going to help that because, again, there's no scenario where I would ever donate to them directly or volunteer for them directly. I would donate directly to a family member or a certain different nonprofit that is supporting the same subject of MS. That I would highly encourage because, again, people do need help for that detrimental that detrimental disease, and it is an important thing. But this organization, there's no way I would give them another penny. Not even a modern penny, which is 99.99% zinc and only a little bit copper plated. It's basically trash. So not even that. It actually, although ironically, I mean, if you give someone a penny these days, it's almost more an insult than anything else. Another one comes from Kristen Franklin saying, quote, so a 90-year-old woman who has volunteered for years and probably been kind, caring, respectful, and given a lot of their time for your organization does not qualify under inclusive for you. Disgraceful, absolutely disgraceful, unquote, getting 138 likes. Let's see here. Yeah, I follow a couple of people who you would be considered far left on X Twitter just so that their responses show up when I follow some of these hot topic issues. Interestingly enough, I'm not seeing those people here, and I'm trying to see if there's anyone who agrees with it. Again, there are people who agree with this action, because again, there are some people dedicated to what you would call that a cause, or that would be phrased as a cause. So there are people who certainly agree with the actions of the MS Society by firing grandma because she didn't know what pronouns were. Now, fascinatingly enough, let's see here. I'm not seeing anything in the comments that shows they exist. And again, this is actually from the MS Society. So this sample size of people who are viewing this should be people who previously donated, they're interested in the company or nonprofit. And yeah, everything is saying, a lot of people are saying ageism, a lot of people are saying shame on you, never donate a dime. I mean, yeah, I think culturally speaking, we're going to start to see the pendulum shift a little bit, especially when you see things like this when, again, she's 90 years old and she volunteered 60 years of her life to that organization. And that's how they end it? A phone call and an email to fire them? I'm nearly speechless with how viscerally disgusting the MS Society is in this action. And it'll be interesting to see, again, will their donations dry up? Will you have a couple of big donors who are, again, people who are more politically left? Will their donations offset the ones that they're going to lose? I mean, I know a lot of people who spend their time volunteering and raising money. I mean, if you look at the statistics on who donates more in terms of when you break it down into a political affiliation, people on the right do tend to donate more than people on the left on average. So I suspect this will have a more detrimental effect, as this has, oddly enough, become a political issue in the United States as well as a cultural issue. It's kind of broken down, relatively speaking, in terms of the quote-unquote sides of the scenario into a political thing. So I'll be interested to see how much this dings their actual donations. But yeah, I can't think of anything worse than firing grandma. Again, she's 90 years old and gave 60 years of her life for the cause and helping people and for that nonprofit. So who knows? Maybe they'll do the right thing and apologize profusely and do something, but I was going to say, perhaps we need to do a cancel culture blunder of the day, or the morally vacuous thing of the day, because this certainly qualifies for those criteria. Thank you everyone for taking the time to tune in again. We're trying to get to 4,000 subscribers by the end of February, so if you click that button, I greatly appreciate it. Also, sharing the video is a great way to assist me growing the audience, and giving me a thumbs up, thumbs down, or just leaving a comment gives me some additional feedback on how I can make the show better and better. Lastly, don't forget to take the time to tell your family, tell your friends, tell your coworkers, heck, tell your enemies, tell anyone and everyone. Just stay safe and fight the good fight.